1908, when the Model T came on the scene, a demand for gasoline started that was not there before. This initial demand was not for fuel, but for the vehicle. The fuel demand was a latent function of the desire to be on the cusp of technology. As the desire for automobiles increased, the design and capability had to change along with the increased consumer attention. This meant the fuel technology had to evolve right along with the vehicle design. For years, the design was all that consumers were focused on. It became more about comfort than function, comfortable ride and comfortable use. We wanted vehicles that parked themselves, vehicles that could climb steep terrain, navigate snow and water-covered roads, charge our mobile phones, and does not require a key. However, when it came to modernizing the gasoline engine, innovation stalled. Why did it stall? For decades, consumers were enamored with the roar of a vehicle engine. It gave the driver a feeling of power, was a sign of strength, and even prestige. This love affair with the engine is a reason why automakers did not seek to progress the gasoline engine. In fact, some looked to boost the roar by inauthentic means. It became about how much smoke a vehicle could emit and how loud it would roar when driven. The larger the engine, the stronger the vehicle. This was especially popular when culture was focused on being built tough. Hence, the SUV was born. So if one was going to drive a sedan, it needed to match the power of the SUV, and an engine roar would do that. Like the sound of roaring engines, the voice of environmentalists began to boom. As engines got bigger, people began to consider how the emissions of the millions of vehicles on the road would impact air quality. Should we go back to driving smaller vehicles that use less gasoline? Were SUVs the culprit? Manufacturers were not going to stop producing their top moneymakers and retool plants because of what a few scientists were saying. So who could get their attention and drive change? Government officials introduced legislation focused on the environment. This caused a need for a shift. With this shift, car manufacturers began to design with the environment in mind. They began to do more than adjust how they build, but began to change what they build. Ford Motor Company Executive Chair Bill Ford stated, "We see no conflict between business goals and social and environmental needs. I believe the distinction between a good company and a great one is this. A good company delivers excellent products and services. A great one delivers products and services that strives to make the world a better place." He does not stand alone. Other automakers are also making similar commitments. To put proof to words, the engine had to change. How vehicles were fueled had to change. With the introduction of Tesla, Elon Musk was one of the first to successfully move from concepts to a valuable product. When Tesla came on the scene, it disrupted the market. Car companies from Ferrari and Aston Martin to Ford and GM all found themselves competing with Tesla. They began to compete and evolve because Tesla was able to do something they had not. It married purpose and technology, causing the onlookers to see it as more than a car company. Purpose is good, but companies also needed to show consumers why they should want this new technology, and shareholders why it would be profitable. The benefits sell themselves. The absence of a gasoline engine means savings at the pump. While electricity does cost, it is less than that of gasoline, and the impact to the environment is significant. Low maintenance costs cannot be ignored. No more service appointments for oil changes or offers of unnecessary air filters. Some governments also offered financial incentives in the form of vouchers or tax credit for purchasing an electric vehicle. But transition from gasoline to electricity is not without drawbacks. Electric vehicles have a range. That range is subject to how long the battery can remain charged. The most convenient charging location would be at home, which translates to cost for the consumer to install. The benefit of doing good for the environment by reducing one's carbon footprint is a feeling that far exceeds any of the drawbacks. Vehicles running on gasoline are emitting greenhouse gases into the environment in ways that electric vehicles do not. In addition to being good for the environment, it also needed to be good for investors. Tesla proved this possible. Meanwhile, governmental regulations are driving pressure to increase manufacturing of electric vehicles. But the urgency and motivation for change was also driven by the need to remain relevant. In 2020, the number of registered electric vehicles more than tripled from 2016. In the US, automakers had to adjust. In conclusion, automakers are no longer content with providing transportation. Vehicles need to do more than take us from one place to another. Despite the fear of change, automakers are taking risks to create tomorrow while giving individuals the opportunity to contribute to improving the environment by choosing what to drive. But does everyone have the option to be part of this evolution from gas to electric? Or will some be left in the dust?